Okay, we're on the air, and this is our Hangout 4. And I have two tools this time. I'm doing Video Ant, and I am doing Starfall. I'm going to share my screen with you now. Can you guys see my screen?
Not yet. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, Video Ant. Okay. Well, Video Ant is an online website where you sign up using an email address or like Twitter or Facebook, and you're able to annotate different videos that you find. Any video you choose that has a UI on YouTube. So it's a free web-based video animation tool for mobile and desktop devices. You can annotate, comment, or web host videos, and you can share and receive these videos with your friends really easily. I'll show you how to do that. Lately has not been letting me go on the internet very easily, so instead of going into my actual tool, I provided screenshots of the step-by-step basis. So once you create your own account, you'll be able to load and video. And so you'll file or the YouTube video right here, and you'll click load, and then your video will be up and ready for you to annotate. So what it will look like once you add a video. That showed you how to use Video Ant, which I thought was cool. And so once you upload your video, you'll be able to press play. It will show that you don't have any annotations yet. And as you press play and start your video, you will click the camera button, which is this button right here, down at the bottom, and you'll fill in the annotation boxes and save your work. So once you click the camera button, you do that while your video is playing. At a certain point, you want the video to stop and people to be able to see your annotation. So 0.03, so at 0.03, so 3 seconds into the video will pop up. And so this right here is where you type in content of what you want it, save it. So the next slide to go. This is what it looks like when time for your annotation. So I set this one at 140. It says 140 right now. So it'll flash an orangish yellow, and that will be your annotation. And all the comments will remain on the side for you to see, so you can look out and you can keep interesting things in mind. And how you share your video. By the timestamp at the bottom, there was a little wheel where you'll click the settings, and you'll be able to go down to share. You'll click that button, and you'll go right here, and make sure it's public so people can see. Or users. So if somebody else is on the site and they give you your username, you can link that, or you can send them an email or have them copy it down. So it's a really easy way to share your videos and to get feedback on it, or just to like provide somebody with an interesting video. If you need help or support, there is a help button right here, this little disc thing that will be at the top right-hand corner of your Video Ant page, and then it'll show you, or you can get feedback and you can type in questions, comments, or concerns, and then anything else you need for help. So again, that is located up here at the top right corner of the little disc. And you have your home page. So what you can do is you can click on the Video Ant that is at the top left-hand corner of your page, and then it will take you to your home page that has all the videos you created or have been shared with. So you can do different tabs like all. So it's all the media you have. you created, shared with me what anyone has shared with you, and you'll be able to create your very own new video by clicking this button right here. To use this in the classroom, teachers can find interesting videos for students to watch and add excess information on the topic or add a comment for the students to consider while watching, which is really cool. So if you're watching a video on, say it was history and like the Civil War, teachers can post comments or like questions to think about throughout the video. And you can highlight specific parts and add questions to go along with the video as an annotation, and students can also create their own videos for the class and write any comments they want to remember to say for a certain section on the side. So if they were doing a presentation and had a really cool video and they wanted to make sure they hit certain talking points, they can put it on the side of their video. And uses at home, students can access this at home and send videos to their friends, and parents can show their children videos and highlight any information they want their kid to pay attention to. Just to practice at home, identifying key features of videos and summarizing them by creating annotations on the side. Video and was Starfall. And I included screenshots of the website, but the link is in my PowerPoint, which I will attach in my Hangout page. Okay, so Starfall, very site to teach the basics of reading. It features interactive books and phonics games, and there are fun songs for the children to help them remember their letters. So this is the homepage of Starfall and what it looks like, and it offers a lot of different approaches to reading. Learn to read, it's fun to read, and I'm reading. And it goes along with different developmental stages, like kids in like 4th grade will not be doing the ABCs, they'll be moving on to harder things. I've chosen a part to show you what you can do in the site. So I chose these, so I clicked on the ABCs, and then I chose a letter. This was F, and so I chose letter F, and it shows the letters, and it also had a voice that read the letter, that said the letter to you, and the F makes. And once you click them, it takes you to this page, which shows a fox, and it also says the word fox in the letter F again, so you know that they're related, that fox starts with the letter F. So it's a really cool example, and an example that kids can relate to because they know it. And it does that with all of the letters. Another thing you could do, go to the ABC pages where it had all the letters, and you can list each song. I will show you in a moment once it loads. Okay, so it has educational songs, and you can click on the ABC button that was at the bottom portion with all the alphabets after you clicked on ABC in the home page. Alphabet song, their name, the sound, and something that start like D, da, da, and it does it for all the letters in a really cute little song. And this guy moves around with it. Very fun, and kids love that. Again, would be used for younger kids, ones who are just starting school or even before school to get that knowledge. There are also seasonal activities that were at the bottom of the home page. Over here, there's Halloween, Christmas, and different activities with it. They're not very religious, they're just things that go along with the season or the occasion. So I chose Thanksgiving one because it's close to Thanksgiving, and it came up with a silly turkey. And it's here to help the kids know what it is. And so it has a little activity to do. So this one, after that page, was add a hat to, you get to click a hat and drag it over, so it helps the kids. They can do it on the computer or in the class, they can do it on their interactive board or any type of technology you have. And on the next page, after you hit the green arrow, colors of the turkey, I changed it to polka dots so it's just a really fun way for the kids to interact with the turkey. And then the turkey will read a book for you. So you get to pick a book, and the turkey reads a book about himself. And then at the end, it lets you like the lesson, or if you don't like the lesson. And that's really good. So the people running the website know which lessons are good, which ones we like, which ones are effective. So they can try to change them or alter them, or get rid of them or keep them for years to come. And you do the feedback. And in the classroom, Starfall can help young kids work on their letter recognition and sounds together. The class can sing along to the letter sounds and remember animals or items that go with the letter. Students can be a part of the learning by being interactive and clicking through the activity on the board or at a computer. Teachers can give information on a holiday or a season. And this is really fun and great to do with an interactive board because the kids can come up, but it's also directed by the teachers so they can make sure they do repetition and point out really important things, and they can have the kids repeat the sounds of the letters, and they can all do it together, and it's really fun. At home, parents and children can work through vowel sounds and letter recognition together. They can do activities together, and the parent can be involved in their child's education. They can find songs to sing at home, and certain sections have appropriate movements to go along with them. That's really fun. You can have family time and dance together and sing together. You can all be taking part in your child's education. Limitations on this is there is a paid membership that's required to do all of the activities and focus on more subjects than just English, language arts, and phonics. So there is some type of math and other things that go along with it, but you don't need it. There is a free section, like the things I showed you. And there needs to be appropriate technology in the school to do this, like an interactive smartboard would be best because the whole class can participate, and a computer would be just more one-on-one. So, but it's a tool to have in the classroom. That's it.
All right, so I did the UDL exchange. So I did the UDL exchange. The UDL exchange is a place to make and look up resources, lessons, or other tools to help in the classroom using the UDL strategies, which just is like accommodating all your students and how they learn the best. When you go to the website, this is what it'll look like. There's resources, lessons, or collections that you can choose from that are on there. You can browse, build, or find the featured guide. This is how you use the website. I'll show you the website once I go over these. You would start, and it would ask you like to name your lesson if you're going to make your own. So it would give you this template, which each different tab you would do like about this lesson. You would write your descriptions, the prerequisites, the time you think it's going to take, your purpose for the lesson, the grade level that you're going to do, the areas of content if you're doing math, reading, science, whatever you're going to do. And then the Common Core standards, they go along with the grades that you choose. So once you pick the grade, it'll automatically give you the Common Core standards that you can pick from for that grade level. For goals, you're just going to write your instructional goals and then your objectives that you have for the children and the variability. Also, you have like the formative assessments that you can do. There's also the opening, during, and closing of how you're going to teach your lesson and the materials that are going to be used. If you notice the little eyes on the side, if you click on those while you're doing and editing your lesson, it'll tell you like different examples of what you're going to they want you to put in that section, or what like you should put there. Or if you don't want to make your own lesson, you can search for different lessons that are already on the UDL Exchange website. They can be filtered by, you can filter these lessons by the lesson, it being a lesson, a resource, or a collection. if you already had it highlighted in your resources, because you have to make an account on the UDL Cast Exchange. You can do it by content area, whether it's math, English, language arts, science. You can filter it by grade level. You can choose one grade level or over multiple different levels. You can choose it by the Common Core standard. So if the lesson goes along with a certain standard that you need to meet, you can pick the certain standard, and then it'll show you all the lessons that go along with that. The media, whether it's a video or text or whatever you want it to be, and then the purpose for your lesson. Why are you teaching this lesson? As a resource, this is for teachers. It helps it come up with ideas and organize their lesson plans because they're all saved. And once you make that lesson, it'll automatically, if you make it public, then anyone who searches for that certain topic can find your lesson in there. You can also share your lessons if you plug in the email with your lessons, which I'll show you how to do. It also guides you through the whole lesson planning experience. So you get to see, it tells you step by step what you should write in there. So this is the UDL homepage. When you get here, you can either browse, which was the different lessons that you can come up with the different filters on the side, or you can search them and you can click on them and just see all the different things that are filled out, and it tells you how to do it, how you do your assessments, your opening, your during, and your closing, and all the materials that you're going to need for that. And then you can also have teachers or people that have already taught your lesson write comments under there so you can see how it worked for other teachers. You can also do build feature, which these are some of the ones that I've already built, and again, you can like search through the ones that you've done. This is a sample one that I can just pull up. It has all the different labels, and then if you click on the orange pen, it'll edit it. So it just tells you, like, for the description, briefly describe this, and then if you click on the eye, it tells you like what it wants you to do for that section. So a good lesson description includes what the lesson's about, student activities, and how it relates. If you go down further to the closing and opening and during, you have different add-ons you can do. You can add a hook, an anticipatory setting, an introduction. It also tells you these. If you start typing, on the side it gives you UDL support about how to do your opening. You can have examples of people that have done it, and then how to dig deeper and make your lesson better than it already is, and it shows you like different ways. And then the closing ones and the during ones also have quick add-ons that you can add throughout there. So if you click on one of them and add it, it'll automatically add it into here. And then once you save it, it'll still be in there. And then if you go up here to the middle one, you can share to the public area, which will make it so if someone's going to browse, they can browse and find yours. Or if you hit it share with individuals, you can email put their email address in it, and it'll automatically send it to them. And then you can choose whether you want them to just be able to view it, or if you want to let them edit it as well. And then you would just hit share with individuals. You can also watch video tutorials about it, how to build a lesson, how to share them. So it gives you a lot of support on there, and you just have to make your own account, and it's a free website on how to do it and how to model your lessons. It shows you different lessons to help you. So it's kind of just a good resource for teachers to use in the classroom while they're teaching their lesson.
Okay, well, going off what Juliana said, I did 2 tools. One of them was Paperly, and the other one was Cast UDL Book Builder. So I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. Okay, can you see this now?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, going off what Juliana said, this is kind of created by the same people, so it follows like the same concepts of what UDL is, which is the Universal Design Learning. To start off with, you can use this tool to have your kids read different books. So they have lots of model books, and it's really neat because you can filter it by, you know, different terms like the title, author, illustrator, or like the school or group that created it or published it. You can look up a featured book or a book that'll read it out loud to you. You can choose by grade level, which is really nice. As you see, it goes from pre-K all the way up to 12th grade, and even has some others, which might be more like college or even higher education than that. You can choose content area, genre, book language. You can also tag different ones in your favorites, which is really neat. So I picked out a book to show you as an example for kind of like what the books look like on here. And it's called Jake Likes to Play Games by Yvonne Dominguez. And it was pretty neat. I kind of thought about how it could be used in my field placement classroom, which is a kindergarten classroom. And we have a lot of behavioral issues because our kids are getting used to like playing together and stuff like that. So this one would really be a great one for my class, I know, because we have a lot of trouble with our students playing together well. So one of the options I'll show you, you can also create your own books on here, and I'll show you that after this, but you're allowed to have these coaches, and the coaches are meant to help you understand the story, which is really neat because it's a really good feature to have if you're having the students do it as like a center, because you can make sure that you're still like engaging them through questions or extra explanations to make sure they're understanding it without you needing to be right over their shoulder. So, you know, you can be meeting in a small group and you could have students on the iPads during center time doing this activity. And so each of them, you just click on them and they tell you
Hi, I'm Miss Shelley.
doing.
I'll ask you questions to help you understand the story.
And then there's Bot.
Hi, I'm Bot. I will help you answer Miss Shelley's question by giving you a hint.
Hi, I'm Molly. I'll use Bot's hint to answer Miss Shelley's question.
So it may be good to kind of go over with the students beforehand that, you know, like Miss Shelley's going to be asking the questions. Bot will kind of give you hints to help you out with it. And then when they're ready to know the answer, they can click on Molly. And after that, you can either change the pages to right up here or right down here. And there's also these carry tips over here, which is more for the teacher and different ways to, you know, include the students in this lesson and this story and whatnot. So I'm just going to go through a few pages so you can see what it looks like. It's pretty simple. So then I'll let you hear what Miss Shelley has to say.
What can Jake do to be friendly?
So, you know, the student can kind of think, what can Jake do to be friendly, and kind of get an idea in their mind and maybe see what Bot was thinking.
Being friendly means having a happy face and saying nice things to your friends.
So then using that hint, they can think, well, a way to be friendly maybe would be to like smile or tell your friend good job on winning, even though you lost and are upset. And then you click on Molly and she tells you.
Maybe Jake could smile at his friend and ask him to play again.
So that's just really neat because it's a way to engage the students without you needing to be right there. And it goes on. So that's just an example of the story. Then at the end are the references because, you know, those pictures the author may have pulled from another resource. And it even gives you the option to like retell stories and like adapt them. So that might not be her own work. So like this is a good spot for references. But there's an example of one of the books that you could find in the model books. As you see, there's like a lot more. Gus's Rainforest Adventure. There's some in Spanish, which would be nice if you have a Spanish-speaking student to maybe incorporate some of their own culture in the center. You know, give them the option to read in Spanish since they've been learning in English all day, or most of the day probably. Then you go over here and you can create and edit a book. So you just want to hit, you know, start a new book. And then you'll go through and, well, this gives you the option to like search through the books you've created. So, you know, if you really like this tool, make a lot of books, that would be nice. So I kind of started to make one so you could see what it looks like. So I just named it Dogs, and I was going to be a book about dogs. It's by me. If I were to illustrate and if anyone were to help and stuff, you can fill all that in here. I said, you know, it gives you the option to include the content area, the genre, which is all really nice. So as you see over here on the side, there's all different sorts of layouts you can choose from. So I picked this one right here, which is the picture up top and then text underneath. And so I put in my picture, and then, you know, to add text, I just had to click, and then I would type it in up right here. And then when I exit, it would go in right there. I can add audio, and then here, like it gives you, I'll show you in a second, it gives you the option to add coaches into your story. So there are the 3 coaches I picked, and then I would add in the text and audio for what they would say to the students. And I can even include a student response area, which is really nice too. And then to show you what it looks like starting from a whole new book, right here, here's where you fill in the information I just showed you that I did on mine. You can choose a different landscape. So here are all the coaches you can choose from. And then you have the option to include up to 3 coaches that, you know, that can be a picture of me and say Miss Davis, you know, that'd be nice for familiar face and voice, since I'll be their teacher. It's really cool. You could do a lot with it. There's an area for shared books. For example, if like all of kindergarten were to create books based on different things that they need to teach, they could share it. That way each one of them doesn't have to make a book every single time, which is nice. There's a public library books feature, and these are like real books that, like, it's like the pictures are on here of it. So here's an example, Bud Not Buddy. And so this author's adapted it, so it's not quite the same, but it's based off this book. I think it's kind of, I've never read this book, but I think this is like a really simplified version of it. So this is just chapter 1. Then you see like it includes lots of pictures and just a little bit of text, which is definitely a lot nicer for your beginning readers. That way they're not overwhelmed. That's a really cool feature too, and there's a lot more chapters, and there's a lot more books too than just Bud Not Buddy. There's tips and resources right here, and, you know, to help you make sure you're getting the most you can out of this tool. One of the features that I also liked about it is that when you're looking at these model books, you can rate them, and you can also read comments about them. So that's nice because, like, you know, teachers can talk about what they did with it, or you could comment when you did with it, you know, just to share your ideas with other educators. Yeah, so I thought that was a really cool. And my other tool is called Paperly, and it's really neat. So it's a collection of articles, blog posts, and media content. And so when I was looking at, you know, like what exactly it was, it talks about how it processes more than 250 million social media posts each day. And out of those, it extracts and analyzes over 25 million articles. So that was really cool because it's kind of like filtering through all the different articles and posts that are appearing every day and kind of pulling out the best, you know, most viewed ones that are most likely the most interesting. It looks like it signed me out, so I'm just going to sign back in really quick. Okay, so if you're on the sidebar, it's a good place to start. It shows you, you know, here's the home page, and there's the newsstand, your account settings, and then one of the big features on this is that you can create your own paper. That's really cool because you can with that. I'll get to that in 1 second, though. I wanted to show you, I really liked this part. So just big and right there is what news are you interested in. So that's just really nice if you have this pulled up maybe for your students in like a creative writing class, you know, they can look up news that they're interested in, you know, maybe most recently they're interested in, you know, the aftermath of the election, or there's just the earthquake in New Zealand, you know, they can just search right in here and then see what articles come up. And then through there, you know, they can look at different articles that they like and read them and maybe respond to them. So that's really cool. Over here on the side, that's the homepage I just showed you. That's the easiest way to search for articles, in my opinion, is just to go through that way. There's the newsstand, and these are like your papers that you've created. There's collaborative papers where, again, you know, if all of the kindergarten grade were to collaborate on different papers for their class, or a 5th grade were to do that, it'd show up right here. Right here you can favorite different articles and newsletters, and that's really neat because then that way if you have like a favorites and tell your students, you know, okay, go on to the favorites and choose article to read from there, then right here is where it is. And that also kind of filters what they're looking up, because going through this, I've definitely seen that is aimed towards higher education and even like more adults and teenagers, in my opinion, than kids. So that's nice to make sure that they're where they need to be. You know, friends papers, maybe if all your students were to create their own account on this, they could share papers with each other. Here are like the different staff picks. The people that work for Paperly have picked these to recommend to you. Currently, buzzing's neat. You know, that's what's buzzing right now, what most people are looking at. So that's a neat feature as well. So I made 2 papers just to kind of demonstrate you know, what this tool really can do. So like I said, there's recently that earthquake in New Zealand. And so right here, there's all these different articles about it that people can read. There's photos, there's videos, which is really neat, just lots of information. A cool feature that this tool has is that you can edit all of this pretty much. So I titled it this, The Earthquakes Daily, and then it allowed me to do a subtitle, which if I were to edit it, you see right over here the way I did it. I can change my title if I want. Here's the subtitle, it was right here, everything you need to know about earthquakes. I could change that to, you know, the earthquake that hit New Zealand. Another cool feature is it allows you to do editor notes down here. So I thought this would be really neat to use if you were having your students go through this. And over here on the editor's notes, you could put questions that they need to look at through these different articles to try and find. So, you know, my examples were what magnitude was the earthquake in New Zealand, and find 3 facts about earthquakes. Because if you look up here, you can look at just the articles about earthquakes, not necessarily the ones about the earthquake that happened in New Zealand. And like I said, really easy to edit. You see all the little editing signs right here. I can add more. I can make it bold so it stands out more, underline it. So it's really neat. There's a lot you could do with it. In my opinion, I thought it'd be really great for high school students, middle school students, or even like 4th or 5th grade. When I look at these tools, I think about how I can apply it to the classroom placement I'm in. And as far as kindergarten goes, I thought it'd be a good resource to pull up the different photos and stuff. You know, if you're talking about earthquakes, like, look, here's a picture of some damage an earthquake caused. I wouldn't necessarily recommend setting the students loose on this on their own. I think it might be kind of confusing to them. You also, right here is your account, so you can see my papers that I've made, what my favorites have been. Like I said, the sports monster was pretty cool. It'd be neat to have, you know, your students go on here and maybe have them talk about, you know, who won the Cowboys game, or, you know, just write a paper about sports, and here they can reference different athletes that maybe inspire them, or there's just a lot you could do with it. So it's pretty neat. I also said that it'd be really good for professional development because, you know, there's a lot of different information coming out about, you know, our career. And so right here, I made the Early Childhood Education Daily, and it's recent news and information regarding early childhood education. So, you know, like, you can just share this with your peers and, you know, comment back and forth on it. And it's just interesting to kind of see where everyone stands as far as early childhood education and where it's going in the future. Importance of music and movement and education of young children. That might be a good topic for you and your coworkers to talk about, because maybe you guys want to incorporate music and movement in the kindergarten classroom. So I think it'd be good for professional development for sure. But that's pretty much this feature. That concludes.
Okay, well, that was my hangout for. So thanks for watching.